Guys, we're back. We're gonna go for another hour and a half here. Just talked about it. Literally just said it like 5 seconds ago. Boom. That's a thing. There we go.
Shit's really hot, Arthur. I don't know how you do it, bro.
Imagine wearing bunches of different hats, man.
I don't wear hats. I'm not a hat guy.
I'm a hat person. I'm a person who wears hats. Alright, so let's talk about things. I think that Nadia and her 4 men who are with her, whose names are Husky, McDaniels, Danon, and J-Dong.
Danon?
J-Dong.
Daniels.
J-Dong.
Is the J silent? Is just dong?
No, it's J-Dong. It's Jaedong.
Do we have to know these?
Do you
Is
want
this-
to know them? Do
is this
you
like a-
feel like the 4 guards are characters worth knowing?
I think they're like red shirts in Star Trek.
It's gonna be interesting when they turn out to be the heads of the Witch Society.
Oh!
And in order to prevent them from killing you, you must name them.
Jadong.
J Dizzle McNizzle Dog.
Daniels.
Danon.
I
Like the
wonder if
yogurt.
anybody caught the joke in there.
I did.
There's a reference. All 4 of them are StarCraft commentators.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm just spelling the guy's name Jadong.
You just spelling it J-D-O-N-G?
Yes.
Okay. That's not what it is, but sure.
Hey, somebody else has got it in there though.
Alright.
Jaedong.
Yeah, I guess, Dave, you would pick up on that joke. Yeah, Husky, McDaniels, J-Dong, and, Danon.
Womack.
Danon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
So
taking
they
this. to
tell
fuck off.
stories, while the rest of you basically berate Dave. I like how he wore his Ushanka for literally, like, less than 3 minutes, then it's like, it's too hot, I'm taking it off. I wear this every Friday, man. Every Friday.
It's also way too small for me, so like my brain was getting crushed.
Alright, fine. They're not StarCraft commentators anymore. Most of them are retired. Swargula. Alright? My bad. They're the only StarCraft people I could come up with on short notice. I needed 4 names. StarCraft 2 is on my desktop. I was like, I know people that play StarCraft 2.
Snap.
I don't-
Day9 is obviously Day 9. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Keep up. Day 9.
It's true.
But if you write it out as one thing, Day9.
Ooh.
They tell
What would-
stories, you know, like typical folk stories that someone might tell around the fire, that simply illuminate the fact that this is a terrifying country full of witches who like to use the souls of children to power spells and devices. They're watching you all the time, everywhere. They have spies constantly. And the
What
one
was that
thing, they keep
sapphire?
looking at Kath and Mason, and the one
Why?
thing that they keep saying is this one story about ravens being the eyes of the Dark Ones.
I speak. I don't say caca.
They're just like, listen, you may think that you know about the birds, but here in Irison, the birds are evil. Watch out for the ravens. They
I know
say
nothing
that the
about
witches
birds.
can use brain magic to enter the ravens and see what they are doing. And then, like, McDaniels holds up a bottle of, like, Irison-y tequila. I guess
It's
it would be
not-
vodka, and is like, yes, watch out for the birds. They are
like
bad
me.
creatures. They are foul, and they eat, vermin and stuff. Not like
Yeah.
you. You are good birds. You just tell all of our secrets to the traveling bard. Who
That's-
die.
That'd be amazing.
And like the 4 of them all were looking kind of riotously laughing, and now they're looking like really sad, and they're like, "You're in trouble."
Yes, we are screwed. And the Mason was at the vodka?
So yeah, they use girls and children for their spells, huh? No,
That is what they say. I have never seen it myself, but I assume that's what they're doing with Nadia. And then he's like, oh, and like one of the other dudes just punches him in the face.
Oh,
And Nadia's like, it's fine. It's fine. Okay.
Because we had an encounter with some kind of weird doll child thing too. But yeah,
So when you say that, they're all like, "Yes, you must mean Baba Yaga's huts."
we didn't know what it was at the time.
So Nadia like takes up the story and is like, "They say that the Baba Yaga's huts. They are all along the border. Baba Yaga has placed them there, binding the souls of children to dolls inside, so that they will be eternally vigilant and watchful. The huts, you must stand before them and do the following. I've never seen that it works, but they say that it is. They stand at the borders of the frozen land. The hut dances around and refuses to let you through the tiny door where you might find safety and shelter from it. If you stand in front of it and turn 3 times and say, 'Hut, oh hut, turn your back to the woods and your front to me,' the hut will open its door and let you in. And from inside, they can no longer see you."
Slower, I can't write it down fast enough.
Alright, so, like, she turns to the 4 guys, and they start standing up and doing that Russian dance where they kick their legs really high. They start doing the dervish dance around the fire, and they're like, "Hut, oh hut, turn your back to the woods and turn your front to me. Ha!" And they do that like 4 times. And they're like, "That is the dance you must do in order to keep the hut from seeing you. And then the witches come and steal your soul."
I don't want them to steal my soul.
Yeah, that would
And
be
so they're
bad.
all like, "None of us want to have our souls stolen. I like my soul right where it is."
But if we do this dance, then our soul gets stolen?
No, if you do your dance, the soul does not get stolen.
Oh, so turn 3 times, say hut, face the forest. No,
No.
back
They
to
stand up
forest.
and start doing the dance again. And they're
Yeah,
like,
okay.
"Hut, oh hut, turn your back to the woods and turn your front to me. Ha!"
Yeah, okay.
Back to the
Is,
woods.
is
front.
the ha really necessary?
They look at each other and they're like, "You know, we've never actually done it. We don't actually live near the border of Irison. So, you know, why don't you tell us? You're gonna have to leave here eventually."
We're gonna have to do this dance.
I'll send a letter back.
They're
with
like,
my
"We're not
findings.
sure if the dance is necessary. It's just something we like to do. You know, it's something we've introduced into our culture because we like dancing in Irison. There's not a lot of things to do. You don't exactly go outside and play in the snow. It's negative 30 degrees out right now."
You could still play in the snow.
They look at each other and they're like, "It's negative 30 degrees out right now."
They look at Kath, and they realize she's basically wearing a cloth tunic.
I mean, I play in the snow all the time. I don't know what you're talking about.
And one of them is like speaking Scald. So they've been switching between Common and Scald for a little while, but now they're speaking Scald, so only people that speak Scald can
Understands.
understand them. And they're like, "I am having trouble relating to the 4 adventurers here. They are very, very strange. I wonder if all non-Irasini are as odd as this."
No, I think it's just
No,
us.
not all. Just some with beaks.
Just us. No, it's not always with beaks.
Well,
You're a jerk.
I was referring to Mason. You're fine.
Oh, thank you.
Mason's sitting there
Hey.
making a pile of rocks.
I didn't hear that.
You
So,
don't know, yeah, neither of you understand the conversation because they're speaking Scald.
yeah.
So Nadia's like, "Mason, you must not place those rocks near the fire."
I look up at her and I place another rock on top of it.
He's like, "Please, do not put the rocks near the fire. I know
I
it
look-
seems like a good idea, but if the rocks contain any air at all and it is heated up quickly near the fire, they could explode, sending jagged rock shards everywhere."
Rocks.
I look at her again and I put another rock on top of the pile of rocks.
Okay.
You just have to start making sleight of
And
hand
then I
checks.
just sit there and I look at the tower of rocks and I'm just like,
All right. I think J-Dong stands up and comes over and just kicks your rocks out of the way. And he's like, "I know that you must tell the witch spirit spy thing about us, okay? And tell them all of your abilities. But if you're going to literally kill us with exploding rocks, could you at least wait until we're asleep first?"
So,
Don't go to see it coming.
so the moment he starts talking to me,
Yeah.
I pick up all the rocks and I just walk off into the forest a little bit
Okay.
away from like the group, and then you can see him in like sort of like illuminated in the background a little bit, but then you hear the clinking of rocks being put back together into another pile.
Mason,
And I speak in Skull to the remaining threes and say, we should make game out of this.
what the
Every
fuck?
time Mason does something ridiculous, someone gets a point. I don't know yet. We have to work out the particulars.
So, I
Maybe
think
we could make
Husky
this
says
drink
we should
thing.
take a drink. And Janin is like, if we took a drink every time he did something stupid, we would be dead before morning. And Husky's like, we would be dead before hour is done.
Let us test theory.
Goodness.
Let us test this
Nadia
theory.
like grabs the bottle and throws it into the fire, and she's like, "We need to stay on point, men."
What's that point?
She's like, "What do you mean? What is point? It is it is
On
an
missions.
abstract concept."
On mission, focus, heads on swivel.
I
You
take
sure she
another-
wouldn't say that everyone needs to stay frosty?
Oh
I
wow,
need-
I didn't even think of that.
I take
I don't
another
think that's
drink.
something she'd say though, since you guys aren't concerned about it, but it's negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit outside and there's a blizzard. I'm pretty sure she's worried about freezing to death and dying.
They're human, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, they'll die.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, no, they're all, like, sitting there shivering around the fire. I'm pretty sure no one's gonna be like, hey guys, maybe we should stay frosty. Now, that sounds like something Mason might come back to the fire to say.
So while this conversation's happening, they can see Mason in the background. He's walked a little further around, but he hasn't gone any further out from the fire. It's like
Okay,
a circle, and he sits down again and he starts piling up more rocks.
okay.
Mason.
So, and if you leave him to do it, eventually the entire circle of the fire on the outside will just be covered in like
How
small little
far
towers
away
of
from
rock.
the fire are you? Like 10
Like,
feet or like 30
Like
feet?
you know, sort of like how the light of the fire will sort of fade off. So it's
Yes.
just sort of on the edge of the fading off of the
Okay,
firelight.
interesting.
So he's going around. He's just adding up pile of rocks everywhere, like in a diameter around the circle.
Is this a witch barrier?
So
No.
when you say that, Nadia's like, is it the witch barrier? It would be very useful to have.
I take another drink.
There is
I
no
take-
drinks
With what
anymore.
With
See?
what
Yes.
bottle?
She threw the only bottle of alcohol into the fire.
I
Only
carry
alcohol,
my
babe.
own. I am a
Of
drunken
course
monk.
You're a drunken monk. So I think the 4 guardsmen are like, can we take some of that?
Hell no.
This
This is for me.
They play the sad song from Scrubs.
I'm sorry.
It's filled with human children. No.
Oh, Soylent Green.
Soylent Green. Slurm. Yeah.
Slurm.
Oh,
Too far?
Yeah. So once Mason's done doing all that, I guess he comes back and sits down the fire, and he just looks like really elated, and he just starts poking the fire with a stick. Not really saying much, but he's happy.
You know what we haven't heard from in a while is Eviego. What are your thoughts here, Eviego?
I am so terrified.
Are
Rock
you
and
like
die.
catatonic with fear?
What?
Like you're literally like in a ball holding your head like this, and all you see over and over again is Mason. So his head is like at different angles, like upside down and sideways. And there's just images of Mason in your brain where he's
Like slowly
and that was
fading.
an elf and it's an archer. And
Mike-
then like you
Mike-
see him, he's like, I'm an inquisitor. I hunt witches.
You know, my
I never-
There's a
never-
monk.
Never said I
can't-
was an inquisitor. Thank
Right,
you.
right. But you did say you were a fighter.
Yeah.
I
And
can't-
it's you know the
genius.
it's like the Ned Flanders scene. It's like nothing at all,
Yeah,
nothing. It's
nothing
like
like
that,
that.
except with my head.
Yeah, I came from Land of the Lindor Kings. I already have stories about the witches, and now we're in the witch area, and we have people blabbing all of our secrets and anything to the witch That
All right,
person
so
literally
it's
says
too much
they
of a
were
secret when a bard
worker.
sits down at a fire, and she's like, "What do you do?" And she looks over at you, holding your bow and arrow, and you're like, "I am a scholar." And it's like,
I
nothing
understand.
said that wasn't obvious. I mean, Mason has a giant fucking scimitar on his back, and she's like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "I'm a fighter, and I hunt
cut
witches."
bread.
And it's like everyone else is like, "Don't tell them that we're a bow and arrow archer or anything like that, because you don't want to give it away. Surprise! I shoot bow and arrows." It's like, no, fucking
I
shit.
know it's obvious I have a bow, but some
Well,
of the other things,
at least we didn't tell them that I was literally touched by the gods.
or that I was a paladin and could smite
Hey,
things.
you guys told her that I was touched by the gods, not the other way around.
She
So, if
invented to
anything,
insult you.
you guys.
Yeah, in the short bus
okay.
kind of way.
Yeah, touched by the gods is actually a Roman phrase from the Roman Empire to represent someone who slightly.
Schizophrenic.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how else you would describe an inquisitor, but that pretty much describes an inquisitor.
Well, no one like you didn't display any magical abilities, so no one really understood that. They were offhandedly insulting you for being somewhat crazy.
Oh no, I understand the reference.
Okay.
It's more
Alright.
like Mason would see that as, yeah, touched by the gods, obviously.
The
I mean, look at all the cool shit I can do. I can literally talk to a god. What's up, guys? She tells me to fucking do whatever I want. She's the coolest mom.
No, but if it sounds like they know we're here, the sooner we can get to her place, and it'll be better.
Yeah, we're a traveling band of minstrels with really big weapons. We've
So
come
the
here
Blues
to-
Brothers?
yeah. Yeah.
Get the band back together.
We're on a
Should have used
mission.
that story.
We're on a mission from the Black Rider.
Okay. If no one minds, I want to just skip ahead in time here, unless you have more that you'd like to ask Nadia.
I'm good.
Everyone's good.
Well, what kind? If we go into this, can she support us with a little few more people? Are they willing to put some people into it as well as take
No,
the witches out?
no one is willing to attack the witches.
No one is.
Absolutely no one.
So I have one more question.
So, like, when you ask something like that, she's like, listen, here's the thing. You are visitors here. If you attack the witches, no problem. There's probably reprisals on the town. They kill a few people, but no big deal. I get my daughter back. I'm fine. Everyone in the town would be okay with us taking a few losses. If we help you, they're going to kill everyone in the town. Because, you free one witch tower, that's great. There's hundreds more. And there's thousands of witches.
Thousands.
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 You need to recognize, no matter what action you take here, even if you do nothing at this point, there's going to be reprisals on the village of Waldsby.
I have a
just
question.
being here and saying that you are a witch hunter, they are probably going to dispatch a squad to come kill him.
Great. I have a question.
Yes.
Now, I know you're a terrible mother.
She's like, yes, this is true.
Ugh.
Oh.
Do you happen to know what your kid even looks like?
Yes.
Can
How?
you tell us what this kid looks like?
Fascinating. Good question. Can everyone make an intelligence check real quick? She begins describing the little girl.
Yeah.
Looks like
You
the
guys are gonna love this. You guys are gonna love this. Oh my god!
Yeah, you nailed it.
Did you do it?
Yeah, I got
Yeah, you
negative
nailed
one
it.
intelligence and I nailed it.
Oh man.
Holy!
Oh.
Ooh.
Wait, what? How?
It
Plus,
describes
plus two.
a little blonde girl with blue eyes.
I think I broke the macro.
You rolled a d20. You got a you did a plus.
I had
plus.
17.
Yeah.
You did a +2 instead of +2. So
Yeah,
all
so-
of you remember that this description matches exactly the little haunted girl you saw at the
Oh,
forest crossing.
Well,
Damn
that's
it.
creepy.
What little haunted girl at the forest crossing?
Little-
At the moment she describes
The
it,
doll.
Mason stands up and goes, "I knew she was dead."
Oh no!
Oh.
And
doll.
Nadia's like, what do you mean she's dead?
Ah, Mason, a little tact, please.
Oh,
Well, I
sex.
mean, you rip the band-aid off, it's a lot better. So basically, on the way here,
All of the guys are like standing behind her and like keeping her from running at you. And she's like, what do you mean she's dead? What do you know?
Well-
Tell me.
yes, this is exactly why I want to tell you, because if we sugarcoat it, you're gonna hate us even more. But on our way here,
You-
came across one of those witch hut things where you turn around and do all that fancy shit. Well, we didn't know that. So, like, I stabbed her in the face with a hex nail and she turned into a doll and exploded.
She was a doll.
Exactly.
There was also
all of
a
the
ghost.
guys begin talking at once and stalled. And
Oh, Dad.
Nadia is like shaking and like on the verge of crying. And she's like, do you have the gem?
Oh, yeah.
What did she say?
I like, yeah. Do you have it or do I have it? I can't remember.
I
who has
have it.
You have
I
it?
have
All right.
She's like, can I see the gem?
If she says in English, common, right?
Yes.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
not her
that's
soul
her.
watch.
Okay. Do you let her take it?
Sure, why not? I don't see a
Okay.
problem. You guys see a problem?
All right. She snatches the gem
I-
up and places it next to the fire, and
Okay.
then grabs one of Mason's stones and begins smashing the gem,
What?
destroying it. Lost the value of the gem. And she is like, goodbye, my daughter. Goodbye.
Oh, I told you she wasn't
I
alive.
sit down pretty smugly and I'm like, I fucking called it.
Damn it, Mason.
So I think Husky probably explains. He's like, the little girl spirit must have been powering the device you came across, the witch doll. The girl spirit would have been bound to that gem. It would have seen and heard everything that we've been saying, and the witches can use that gem to communicate back to each other. So they probably know everything we've done so far.
Well, yeah, obviously. There's a reason why I told that bimbo before.
And I feel like someone should be like, I don't know why you're calling her a bimbo. She never
She was
displayed any.
basically wearing nothing in the snow. I mean, I don't know what a bimbo is to you.
Where
But
do
that's
you
what
wear
it
in
is
the
to me.
snow?
She's immune to cold, just like you.
Well, I've got,
Are
I've
you
got,
a
I've got,
bimbo?
no, I've
Well,
got,
why-
I've got hired leather
Doesn't-
on and a hat and a
She's-
trench
Doesn't
coat.
Kath wear less than her? Are you calling Kath a bimbo?
If she was immune to cold, then why would she give me her clothes?
She didn't
Exact-
give you the clothes.
I know she didn't. That's what I'm
Oh
saying.
my
She's immune to
goodness.
cold.
Alright, we're cutting back to the part where the guy's like, the gem stored the little girl's soul, and she would not be free to die until the gem was destroyed.
I
I'm
understand.
afraid we cannot pay you for the loss of the gem, unfortunately.
Why not?
Because we do not have that much money in the entire village.
You could help us kill a couple of witches.
Yes, I was about to suggest that. To
They
course
look
of
at each
action.
other and they're like, our lives are not worth that. As Nadia explained earlier, if we go with you when you go to attack the witches and anyone escapes alive to report it, they will kill everyone in Wildsby,
All right,
rather than just some people.
Here's
Doesn't
what
have to-
Mason
It doesn't
does.
have to be direct support. You don't have to charge in there with us.
Tell me, Mason, what do you do?
So here's the moment they say our lives are not worth that much. Mason then just sort of like stops eating whatever he's eating or doing whatever he's doing, and he sort of turns and looks at them and he goes, "Badaza."
Apparently, you literally value your lives at. What was the gem worth? Like 600 gold pieces? It's good to know exactly how much you would pay for yourself.
As you said, I'm touched by a god. I literally am.
Nope.
Sure, bus god.
Did your god tell you you only worth 600 pieces?
He's only worth 200.
Wow.
If your lives are
You're
worth,
actually worth less than a common halfling slave.
Oh,
Interesting.
terrible.
or what, are you saying that the other person that they're saying that their lives are worth more than 600? Because I got the
They're
assumption.
saying that they want to live more than they want to come with you.
Oh, I thought you said that their lives were not worth that much money.
But then how is it that our lives are worth less? We could just go and kill all these people.
See, I was.
They're like, would you please go and kill them all?
Why
And
won't
they're
you
all
help
like
us?
nodding.
You
That's
don't
part
have
of
to
our.
help. You don't have to help directly. Maybe put in a good word with the blacksmith. Get us a little bit of a discount.
Some
They're like, oh, of
food.
course. We will help you in the village however we can. But you asked us to go with you to help you kill witches, which is something we cannot do.
That is understandable.
There is something you should know. There is a bar in the village of Waldsby. It is run by Katerina. No matter what you do, you should probably not talk about killing witches there. She is an insane... And he says something that doesn't translate well in Scald, but is clearly a disparaging remark towards women.
How does it like? How does it translate?
I don't
Kind
think
of
we
like
have a
witch
word
bitch.
for. I don't think
Witch
we have a word
bitch.
for. I don't think we have a word for it in common.
Yeah, there's no
But-
Taldan word for it. Just like there's 38 versions of snow in Irison.
But it's Scald, right?
Yeah,
And
And
a
we
couple of
speak
us
Scald.
understand Scald.
right.
So we know exactly what he means when he says that.
If
Like,
I'm saying it in English, there's no translation. It's a word that means one who loves witches and is a horrible person. But it's also like a sexist remark. And they're all like, yeah, she's totally one of those.
I see.
one of those obscene words.
Yeah.
How do you let somebody like that run a bar in your town?
They're like, what are we gonna do about it?
What do you mean,
Burner!
let?
They're like, she works for the witches, maybe. We're not really sure. If we burn her without trial, then we get in trouble with the witches. And if she is working for the witches and we put her on trial, then we are the ones who get burned.
What about that thing where you can like toss them in the lake and if they float, they're not a witch?
They're like, what? That's not even...
No, I
What are
believe
witches like where you come from?
I believe the
We don't even
scientific.
have freestanding water for the most part. It's
Why
not?
negative 30 degrees outside.
No
I
water
believe
at all?
I believe the standard of witch measurement is taking a giant pair of scales and measuring them to a duck.
With the duck, yes.
There's a
So
duck
the-
place.
they look at you and they're like, that's not how you tell if someone's a witch.
At all?
Do you,
Isn't it? Then my
they
mother
look
was
at,
wrong.
They look at Mason, they're like, you claim to be a witch hunter. You please correct your allies, please.
My,
Yeah,
mo-
it's no helping them.
my mother must have been wrong about that.
I just let them live however they want. It's cute.
Yeah, you ranged your party on free range adventuring.
Yeah.
No hormonal additives.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh no.
They only need one specialist witch killer. Everybody else can fuck off, right?
Right, yeah.
Oh, God.
We kind of follow his lead, but kind of don't at the same time.
We really don't.
I'm not in the industry of teaching other people my secrets of witch hunting.
I like how
He's
in
an
chat,
inquisitor. Nobody expects it.
Gamer Siren said, we're the good guys. And I'm... What's interesting is not only am I questioning that, but like as the adventure path proceeds, it's going to become less and less obvious that you are good people.
Maybe we could
Okay.
become good people.
That's a really interesting point. Sure. Probably about the time to stop making mothers cry for their
That-
children.
That's
And,
amazing!
Arthur, do you want me to say that she's a good mother because she ignores her children?
No,
And-
no.
It's
But
not
you
bad.
probably
Other
shouldn't
child,
be like, oh, we've got the soul of your little girl right here. We killed her, and now we need you to destroy her soul right in front of you.
She did it on her own accord.
Yes.
I mean, how's that any better?
It's not.
Okay, then.
Sure.
It's not any better.
Yeah. But I mean, like, she did leave her kids to a village. I mean, that's a whole bunch of people.
Sure.
I don't care about human children. To be honest with you, I think they're smelly.
Okay. All right.
he-
Are we ready to
you're
advance the
going to-
storyline now? Or are we still having story time around the
Go,
fire?
go ahead and advance. We're waiting on
Yeah,
you.
we're
Still in
ready.
dead air.
Really? Because the last time I wanted to advance, we got sidetracked by something and things got weird. But yeah.
Fancy clothes.
Okay. The next morning, The dog sledders let each of you sit on one of their dog sleds, so you have a really easy ride. There are a bunch of ravens that fly overhead in a raven swarm, but
Why?
instead of stopping, the group is like, well, they already know all about you guys from the bard, so there's no reason to hide from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the
If-
ravens just follow you for like an hour. It's like that Lord of the Rings scene where Legolas is like, ravens!
Can I shoot him?
Somebody place! And they're like all hiding under the rocks. So there's like several thousand ravens that just follow over your head for like an hour.
How are you
You
gonna
shoot
shoot?
at them, but there's so many ravens that you kill one and there's like 1,000 to take its place.
I'm not gonna
Well-
waste.
Don't worry about it. They already know everything. I made sure of that.
Of course.
Okay, within a few hours, you arrive in the village of Waldsby, on the northeast fringes of the Horwood Forest. You get plenty of attention from the locals. Dozens of them come out to greet you. Many of them look at you, whispering concernedly and leading their children away from you.
I would as
That's
well.
okay.
A old crone named Kashka leads Nadia's children up to her, where they reunite. Nadia introduces her remaining children to you, twin boys named Orm and Mioli,
Worm. That's a nice name.
and the old woman Kashka. And Kashka is like, "It's good to meet you, youngsters." And then she looks at Evierga and is like, "Old stairs."
What was
Nice
the
to
other
see
kid?
someone who's lived at least as long as I have. It's been about
Oh.
20 years since I've seen anyone like that.
We don't
Most
get
people
over
don't
here.
get as old as I do. You know, this is a country where you live young and terrible lives and die.
You've done well for yourself, then.
She's like, I'm 90 years old. I've had grandchildren die on me. It's actually been a pretty sad and terrifying life. Yeah. I drink the vodka a lot.
Ah, substance abuse. I was wondering when that was going to come up.
Are you gonna become an alcoholic now?
She's like, look around you. What do you think there is to do here?
Eat potatoes?
Well, that's why I was wondering when it was going to come up because
She's
it's
like, potatoes. It's negative 30 degrees outside. The Fahrenheit scale. Potatoes
Vodka's-
literally can't grow in this weather. They need loose, arable soil.
Then how do you make vodka? Vodka's made of potatoes.
She's like, we get it imported from White Throne.
Bah.
Is that where you get all your food?
Yes, of course.
That
Almost
sounds like-
everything comes out of the central government in Irison.
That's a terrible idea.
So that's how they punish you guys too.
She's like, punish?
GMOs?
Well, I guess you would look at it that way as foreign outsiders. I consider it redistribution of wealth.
Com-
And she says, you will too. If you're wise, you'll keep from speaking out publicly about the witches. Keep your
Why?
voices down, idiots.
Why? I mean, the witches, I look around for a raven. Is there a raven nearby?
Nope.
Yeah.
Is the bartender around?
Do you know what the bartender looks like?
No
I
idea.
don't know.
Okay.
Do we?
So
Well,
I
we
think when you ask about the bartender, a young woman and a young man come up, and she's like, "You're looking for bartender. My name is Katrina Goltieva.
That's her.
This is my husband Emil. We run the local inn. Would you like to come in for free drinks?
Nope.
First round's on the house."
Roofies.
I think
It's
we
like,
might have
"Roofies?
people.
No, we would not roofie you.
Sense
We're
motive.
offering outside. Okay.
Is this the type of game in Pathfinder where if you drink, you get fucked up super bad?
No.
Okay. Because in the
Only
last
when
game
you
where we
drink
had
certain
drinks, it was
alcohols.
like, yeah.
Totally not roofied.
Yeah. So in the other games where that's happened, they've always been drinking like Dwarven Fire whiskey or
Ouch.
straight rum.
Or
Okay.
shit grog.
Yeah, grog. That's what it is. It's called
Is it like
So what
Twilight,
are- this
Twilight
just like-
Grog?
This is just like alcohol. They're serving you like beer and what.
like spirits and
Yeah.
stuff? Okay.
Jason, like you're looking her over, and she seems like a really warm, accepting person who just wants you to get some free drinks.
Who,
Can I do a
Kendra?
sense motive on her, or
Yeah,
did you
go
just
ahead.
do that? Okay.
He made a
Hmm.
sense motive. He just failed horribly. Yeah, Mason, you get the idea that she too is trying to get you into her bar for some free drinks.
Oh fuck it!
She wants to know more about you.
I've sit on my ass long enough. Let's go sit on my ass again.
Okay. And so Nadia is like looking at you guys, and she's just like, "Say nothing."
Say nothing.
And,
It's Mason.
You get to Katrina and Emil's bar, which is called the White Weasel, and it's the picture outside is a witch riding a dire weasel, shooting frost bolts into the air.
I like as I
It
say.
becomes very obvious why people might think that she is a witch supporter.
Oh my gosh.
And
Mason.
she's like, come in. Warm yourself by the fire. Even
Mason.
though it seems like none of you need it, apparently you're able to survive in deadly cold.
How would you know that?
Because you're wearing literally nothing and there was a blizzard last night.
Crafty. He noticed.
She brings you guys out bowls of warm soup, like like beef stew on the house. Like a rack of lamb to share between all of you, and like a pitcher of beer. She's like, "So, how are all of you? You know, first meal here is on the house. I assume you'll be staying in town for a while, yes? Perhaps you have trinkets and baubles you'd like to sell. Adventurers that come through often have things they need to be relieved of."
I have nothing of the sort.
We did have a dead
Intentionally.
kid's gem and soul gem in our possession, but that's gone now.
She's like, "What?"
Nothing.
I
Nothing, he's
intentionally
drunk.
fumble my way to my chair, bumping
She's
into
like,
her.
"You haven't even touched your alcohol yet. How could you be drunk?
He's drunk. He's always drunk.
It's 10 a.m. in the morning."
I carry booze and he drinks it all the time.
She's like, "Listen, I'm a bartender, and I can tell you that kind of alcoholism is very unhealthy."
I know that. I try to tell him to stop all the time, but he never listens to me.
Yeah, I
So,
just
She
turned to
gets
her.
real close to you, Mason. Is like, "You listen to Katinka, yes? You
Your
need
name
to
is
stop."
Katerina.
What?
Katerina?
Yeah, Katerina. But she says, "You listen to Katinka." It's like a shortened version of Katrina.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, she takes your like beer mug from out in front of you and brings you back like a glass of water, and sets the pitcher of beer like on the far side of the table away from you.
I
And
drink
she's
it.
like, I have good recipe to get you off of the sauce, Birdman."
Sauce.
She's like, "Emil, bring the special tea."
Don't bring this specialty. Don't drink it.
Emil is
Oh,
like,
bring
"Of
the
course,
special
my
tea."
wife. I bring you special tea."
I drink the booze.
Yeah, I asked her, it's like, have you got anything a little less cooked in there?
She's like, "Less cooked. You mean you want raw food?"
Yes.
He's like, "I have raw raven from yesterday.
Ah.
You like bird?"
How about something with a little more legs?
Crow?
Mm. No, something that is more. Mm.
Sheepy. Cowie?
No,
She says,
that's
"I have lamb in the back.
that'll do.
I'll
That's
have
so
to
foul.
defrost it."
Mm. Actually, forget about it.
She's like, "It's not safe to keep fresh raw meat lying around."
No, I understand. It's fine. It's too much hassle. Don't worry about it.
Alcohol and
She's like,
tequila.
good. You listen to Katinka. Here is your tea."
No, don't drink it.
I look over at Kath, and I'm just
Don't.
like,
Drink
Don't.
it.
Smack it out of his hand.
Drink it.
Can you make a will save real quick when you
No.
absolutely.
So she leans down next to you and begins whispering something in your ear. We'll figure out if you know what she's saying or not based on
I'm so
your
fu-
save.
Okay, will save. Okay.
What's the DC?
Oh, you don't need to know that. It's definitely not that.
No, sorry, it's not. It's not 15. It's
Oh.
5. So
Oh, okay. Well, then I actually need to look this up then real quick.
Oh.
Let's see here.
So it's a 13.
Yeah.
Mason likes Molly just like Snow. Who's laughing like that? Dan?
Okay, so here's what happens, Dave.
Yeah.
She leans into your ear, and while you're drinking it, she says, "Revel pedosek. Radosek Pavril and Najena Vasilyovna are far too powerful to defeat. You should take your friends to the border and leave Irison as soon as possible. And you feel an overwhelming urge to do exactly what she says. So you're currently under the effect of a suggestion spell. And so you must carry out this compulsion as quickly as possible.
All right, 1 second, Arthur.
Ooh.
Okay. I flipped the table.
You flip the table.
Yeah, I flipped the table.
Everyone, I don't know. What do you do when he flips the table?
Mason, what the hell's wrong with you?
I like
I
grab.
exaggerate my blindness and fall over.
I grab Kath by the face, and one of my other party members by the face, and I start to drag them out.
Okay.
I don't know who the other person would be because I assume that Kath is sitting
Well, it
next to me.
sounds like
No.
it sounds like Chazon stumbled backwards and fell on the ground. So you'd have to be grabbing Eviega.
Yeah, Aviaga, yep.
Yeah, you start grabbing them and pulling them out. Yeah.
I wouldn't let him do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Roll
Well,
a CMB roll.
yeah, the moment there's any struggle, Arthur, I just let go and I just keep going.
Okay.
Yep, just keep going.
Keep going where?
Back to the portal, obviously.
Okay. Yeah. You start walking back to the portal.
So how does the CMD roll work?
He's
What-
not even like you're not. He's not attacking you. Like if you resist at all, it sounds like he's just gonna walk back without you.
Yep.
So there's no CMD.
Yep.
So he's just gonna
like,
keep
"Fuck
going?
it, if you don't want to come, I'm just gonna walk.
Mason, where you going?
Shut
up!
What the hell?
Shut up!
Wait. No, where you going?
Shut up! Shut up!
So I think that the two of you have exited the bar. I don't know if Eviega and Chazon are following.
I'm gonna follow Mason because I want to know where he's going.
Yeah. Eviega, Chazon, are you following as well?
Eviega, could you help me up real quick?
Help you out there.
So you have a rank in Paladin now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Or as a Paladin you can't lie, right? I'm okay with you attempting to deceive people to a certain extent, but being like, "Oh, I'm blind. I literally can't stand up on my own."
Even
That's-
blind, I hate to break it to you, but even blind people can fucking stand up.
Yeah.
Like, they're not disabled in the arms or the legs.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, it's not like they don't know how gravity works or which way's up. Like,
Or to make a Point Break reference, you could be like, "The only law that matters is gravity. Jump off a waterfall."
Oh.
No, it's nothing as melodramatic as that. It's just I stumbled. I was like, "Could you give me a hand, real quick?
Okay. All
Sure.
right.
It'll be easier, like since I'm carrying a breastplate and a shield, whatever."
All right. So, Eviega, what are you doing? You helping
I guess-
Chazon? Are you going after Mason and Kath? What's
We'll just
happening?
keep an eye on him, I think, probably.
Keep an eye on who?
Mason, what do you think?
So you're exiting the bar to follow him, leaving poor Chazon to get himself up off the floor.
Oh, no, I was to go with him.
Oh, okay. All right.
What the hell?
Alright.
What has
So
gotten
the
into
two,
that bird?
just to be clear, the two of you are traveling to follow Mason. Then,
Of course. What's
Not,
gotten into-
not completely, no.
what is not completely? Can you describe what you mean then?
Well,
This is important.
maybe if he leaves town, I probably won't follow because there are still blizzards and other things going on here. And outside,
Okay, he definitely leaves town. It takes him like 2 minutes to get there, so let's have a conversation or whatever before we get there. What is happening? You guys are chasing Mason as he walks confidently to the edge of town, directly, like, straight line back the way you came.
Like, what are you doing? We have the mission to take care of. Don't you know what's going to happen to you if you just turn around and walk away?
doesn't matter, I'm leaving.
Why?
Doesn't matter, I'm leaving.
Why?
It doesn't matter, I'm leaving. And the moment that Kath like tries to stop me physically, I will turn off the winter weathers on her.
Oh, motherfucker. Fantastic.
I'm just saying why.
Yeah, I
I
don't think
haven't
she's trying to
stopped
stop
physically.
you
Yeah, the moment you try to though.
yet. Oh, boy.
Oh, that
Holy
That
shit,
is-
man, that's cruel.
That is.
And then, Arthur, on top of that, if the rest of the party is shadowing me,
Yep.
I'm also going to be using my incredibly high stealth to get away in the snow.
Okay.
Well, I'm not finding you.
Yeah, everyone's
What
like,
the-
I'm not fighting you. You're crazy.
You know what? Yeah. We'll
Oh, hey,
probably-
this is what happens when you get a suggestion and you fail, I suppose. So.
Bye,
yeah.
Felicia.
I can't.
Felicia.
But Mason, what's going on? What happened? Do you know?
Doesn't matter, I'm leaving.
Where do you have to go?
It doesn't matter what happens, I'm leaving.
But where are you leaving to?
All right, at this point, Arthur, if she's still shadowing me, I'm going to turn it off. Just,
Okay.
Yep.
So the thing
Oh.
is, before you do this,
yep.
you don't see her as a threat, and your suggestion was to bring her with you.
Okay, then
Yeah.
I would make her come with
You're not
me.
really like she's still your ally. Everybody's still on your side.
Okay. All right. This
Wait,
sort
I'm
of
just-
The
magic.
suggestion
curious.
literally was the witches are too strong for you. You should go home with your friends.
Okay. All right. Yep.
Well,
I was like-
it was go to the border with your friends, but you went to the winter portal, which isn't unreasonable.
Well, that's the only way I know how to get back home.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, I just say, "Well, come with me. I'm going
Where?
to the portal." Obviously, God,
But we were here to kill the witches.
it doesn't matter anymore.
So I think while this conversation is going on, we cut back to Katerina and Emil Gultieva, and they're both like sitting there smoking some halfling weed
Oh my
and
gosh.
like smug. They're like literally smug as fuck. And Emil is like, the tea did its work again, Katerina. You are a genius. And Katerina's like, you know, which life, you know.
Which life?
Which life? We got to get paid to keep this spy outpost running. And Emila's like, yeah, I mean, it's not like anyone here comes here to eat your stew. But she like punches him in the arm. And she's like, you eat my stew. He's like, I'd rather have the lab. we cut back to, I think we're cut to the team 2, which is Eviega and Chazon. I keep wanting to say Chaz. Trying to catch up with Mason. What are you guys saying to him when you catch up?
Wow, if he's taken off, we have something to do in town. That's my thought. And
Okay.
I would call to him to come back and
Mason, get your head out of your ass and stop and talk to us a minute.
Can't talk. Leaving. You should come. It's pointless being here.
Thought you were a witch hunter.
That doesn't matter. I'm leaving. You should come too. It's safer behind the portal.
What? You're a witch hunter and you're concerned about safety?
Yeah, absolutely. It's terrifying here. We should leave.
Fantastic.
I'm not leaving.
You're a method actor, Dave.
I'm not leaving.
Why not? Hey, honestly speaking, how many more children do you think you want to murder today, huh?
Oh, oh.
We didn't murder that little girl.
Well, as far
I
as
wasn't
I
even
know,
there
you
for
murdered her soul by giving her that gem. I thought you were a paladin.
we're
Putting her
freeing
soul to
her.
rest.
Well, no, in my eyes, that's basically like killing a child.
Wow. This is a really interesting religious debate between a paladin, and an inquisitor. Like, at what point is the soul dead? Is it when it's ripped from the little girl's body and put inside a lifeless gem to power a doll? Or is it when that gem is destroyed and the soul returns to the circle of life?
It was killed when it was stolen from the bait kid.
Well, as far
I'd
as I
rather-
know,
Its path.
as far
I'd
as
rather-
I knew exactly what it was when we were fighting. I'm saying this as we're walking back to the
Yeah,
portal.
of course.
I'd rather
I
have-
get that.
I'd rather be placed in any of the non-evil planes when I die than be trapped in a gym for the rest of eternity.
Well,
Yeah.
think about it like this. I mean, as much as she was a bad mother, she could have at least talked to the child still when it was connected to a soul or a vessel. But then you went up and destroyed it, so, you know.
You destroyed it.
Actually, no, the gem was fine.
No,
gave-
you destroyed the doll.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about children. Why
The
would
doll
I?
was the thing that was talking. She didn't raise any noise once we took her out of it.
Exactly. You didn't stop me, and that's your prerogative.
If you want to leave, you can leave. We're
That's
not
what I'm
gonna stop
doing.
you.
You're following me. You should come. This
We're
place
staying
is
at the port of
bad.
the town.
I still don't understand why you want to leave.
Because I don't. It's dangerous here, obviously.
You've never, ever turned away from danger before.
I don't know if you know this, but there are witches out there, and they're dangerous.
You're an inquisitor.
You're a witch hunter.
You
I know, and they're really dangerous. I don't
What
want to be
makes-
here anymore.
What
You
makes
guys
these
should
witches?
come with me. We should leave together.
What
through the
makes these
portal.
witches so dangerous?
What exactly was the word that was given to me, Arthur?
They're just dangerous. That's all they said.
yeah,
They
they're just
weren't like
super
this.
dangerous.
They weren't like they're super dangerous.
No, but what was the actual wording? Because I'll repeat that if
They,
she said
they were
it.
dangerous.
Yeah, they're just super dangerous. That's all you need to know.
They're too powerful. That's what you're saying.
I'm saying that they're just super dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any hex nails left?
If you're gonna, yeah, if
Because
you're
if
gonna
you're
leave,
not going to use them,
I'm not giving you my hex nails. Go find your own witch that's been burned at the stake and get your own.
What?
You wouldn't even know what to do with them.
The mason.
I have a pretty good idea.
And anyway, if you touch them, you'll probably destroy them with your holy powers. I keep going.
Don't leave me.
Well, follow me then. It's pretty fucking obvious what you need to do.
We have to destroy the witches.
No, they're too dangerous. Let's keep going.
Oh, goodness.
Nope.
You guys have to make a choice here. It's pretty obvious Mason isn't going to turn around. You're either going to go with him back to the portal, or you continue your adventures without him.
We can't go with them.
Can I feed him my liquor and make him not crazy anymore?
We could tie him up.
Well, you could feed him the liquor, and we could see what happens from there. But
Can I feed him the liquor?
yes.
How are you going to do that?
Here, Mason, before you leave, let us share a drink.
I don't drink. I don't know why you think I'd drink.
You've drank before.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have. It's very good.
I
Catherine.
drank the tea because it was tea.
Well,
God.
drink this. It's good, just as good.
Catherine.
It-
I have rope. Just,
No,
just tie him up.
I ain't gonna do any good.
He can hear you saying that.
I can hear you saying that.
No, never was much one for subtlety anyway. Defend yourself.
I mean, seriously, if you're going to
Okay.
leave,
It sounds
I'm
like
not
we're
gonna
going
see
into
you
combat
again.
then, right?
No, not
Oh.
combat necessarily. Just making a CMB roll.
You literally said defend yourself.
Yeah, I'm holding rope.
Sure. So we come to the thing about Pathfinder again, where it's hard to resolve social conflicts, and of course Dan immediately resorts to violence. So let's roll initiative and
You
see
definitely-
if the party can, non-lethally beat down or subdue Mason before he kills some or all of them.
Okay, you live up to the Chazbro name.
yeah, Chaz, bro.
You jerk.
Roll initiative.
So,
I can't get myself. Oh, never mind. That's me.
Because you
I'm
got
sorry.
arrows
I don't-
on.
I don't want to roll for initiative.
Wrong arrow.
Well, you can roll for initiative, and your action can be do nothing.
Okay.
But at some point, you might want to jump in, and so it'd be nice to know when you're capable of jumping in.
Can I roll for initiative and try to get him to drink the juice?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
in order to make him drink the alcohol, you would need
I don't
to
want to make him.
I fucking love, by the way, that Inquisitor Mason goes first in this scenario.
Yeah. So you see Chaz pull out some rope and start advancing towards you, and you're like absolutely certain you know what he's gonna do, considering he's practically said it.
Yeah. The moment I see him doing this, Mason mind clicks at high gear, and then he turns around. He's got furrowed brows. He looks incredibly furious at Chazron, and he only
says
says
some
one.
really mean stuff that hurts
He
your
only
feelings.
says one word, and you're not gonna like it.
Yo, mom.
Heretic.
No.
Oh,
And then he pounces on you, and starts to brand you a heretic.
You're using the brand touch spell?
Yes, I am.
Fantastic. Not often you see paladins branded with the word heretic on their forehead.
Oh God.
Oh.
Dan's dead.
It fits you and marks on your character's faces, huh?
Yeah, that's what he does. But the if you really want to know, it's not permanent.
Yeah.
I don't think. So I'm gonna have to look up these rulings real quick.
You're going to have to make a touch attack.
And how do I do that?
It's a d20 plus your strength modifier.
That's it.
Although you have weapon finesse, right? You might be
I
able
do,
to do
yeah.
it with dexterity.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. Touch attacks are finessable.
Wow, that's really good. Okay.
Alright, you get a fort save versus this if it hits. Jazz.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so inflicts 1 point of damage, maybe placed on any exposed portion of the creature, typically head or forearm. Brain can be hit or clothing by scraping away, causing 1d6 points of damage to remove it. And
yeah.
the brand returns if the damage is healed.
So roll your attack.
I like how there's like all these fucking smart ass people in the group where they can't work out that I've been fucking like put under a spell. Like Mason actually.
Everyone's like, I thought you were a witch hunter. Why don't you want to fight witches? You're like, I'm afraid of witches. They're too powerful.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. 21.
Alright,
Yeah.
God
Jay's
damn.
on. You need to make your fort save. That's good enough. I think. Probably. Almost certainly. Right?
Let me check. The save for the spell.
Yep. It's
How
going
do
to be 1, or actually it's 0 plus your caster stat.
It'd be 1. My caster level is 1, so.
What's your stat?
I'm sorry,
Wisdom.
I'm not sure. Wisdom? Oh,
Yeah.
wisdom. Okay. It's +3. It's
Okay, so it's a 13. So yeah, you definitely save.
Yeah.
So one thing to note is that it has to be a mark of no more than 6 characters.
it's basically the leaf that I engraved on the other person's
It's
head
a
before.
heretic. You lose an E in there.
Well, no, it's the mark of my god on his
Oh,
head.
it's Gazra. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the leaf.
All
Yeah.
right. So that leaf starts to show up on his forehead, but then disappears. Takes no damage and has no. Is there anything
Really?
else you'd like to do, Mason?
It just does that.
Yeah, because he made the save.
Oh. Okay, so he passed the save, and then that
Yep.
just okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, if nothing happens, then I get enraged and I start, I don't know, punching him, I guess.
Well, your attack was to cast your spell in.
Yeah, no, but it's
Okay,
just
thematically you're punching.
Yeah.
All right, Eviega, Mason. You see Chazon creeping up behind Mason with some rope. Mason starts casting spells on Chazon. What are you doing? This is
I'm
getting
not
heavy.
actually going to use
This is-
the rope.
This is really bad.
I have another plan.
I don't know how
is the
fucking
snow-
more obvious I could have made it though. So I don't know. Sense motive was never happened, or anything like that ever happened, or maybe some sort of spell check or something like that.
All
No,
things that
nothing.
could have been done but weren't.
Exactly.
Just
don't
ran
have to-
out of the inn.
Yeah.
I have a penalty on my sense motive.
Okay,
I've
so
always
let me elaborate on what happened here. Mason took a giant swig of some fucking tea.
After
Yeah.
you were told
And-
not to.
And then he was whispered in his ear from the barkeep something. The moment she stops, Mason flips the table and walks out. And everyone's like, oh, well, what's happening? Obviously.
things that happen.
Yeah. And Mason's like, I'm afraid of witches. I hate witches. Witches
That's
suck.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Trying to talk you out of it. That
So,
was what
this
I
does
was
bring us
trying
back
to-
to Eviega. What are you
Yeah.
doing?
So is the snow here too crazy still, or is it?
Yeah, yep. The whole country, the snow's crazy. That's right. You gotta do a snowshoes forever, bro. Basically, just
Until
strap
we
that
get-
shit to your feet.
Until we get Boots of the Winterlands.
Are you double moving to behind him?
Just moving to behind him,
Okay.
and I'll try to grapple him as well.
Do you have enough movement to get behind him and still grapple him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Make
Probably,
your...
if he's in attack mode, he could probably attack me.
So, it doesn't sound like Mason ever drew a weapon.
No.
No.
He didn't draw.
So you
Wow.
won't get an AOO on this.